Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. You know, when people act like they care about you, sometimes uh, they can get in other people's business or they can just get on other people's nerves. I got a feeling that I get on a lot of people's nerves. And I'm sorry about that. That's not my intent. But my intent is to try to do something about those that feel pain and suffering. Now, I know how difficult it is if you don't feel the pain and suffering yourselves. I know that you really don't care. And even if you feel it yourself, you're probably just restricting it to you. I know this. As a scientist, I have recognized it for quite some time. And to make sure that when I say that I'm speaking for those that are hurting, I'm definitely on the plan because I'm hurting. I'm hurting for my own ride. I'm hurting for my own stuff. You know the stuff that makes you feel comfortable, that you're satisfied. You don't have to worry about getting on anybody else's nerves. Well, see, as long as you are denied the benefits of what has been prepared for you, you can always be getting on somebody's nerves. How many of you just want to go somewhere and you can't go? How many of you, even those of you who got jobs and money, sometimes you can't go in a place like now. Gas prices are so high. And for those of you who got some money, depending upon where you live, you can't afford to even live in these raggedy buildings that they live in because people are ripping you off as far as the rents and mortgages are concerned. I mean, these kinds of things are just happening in our lives. And they're getting worse and worse. But when I go out and I realize that I don't have transportation. So when I talk about cars and you having cars and stuff like that, I don't have transportation of my own. I have to borrow somebody else's transportation. I might be able to get it and I might not. Or it's the same thing. I know you go through it every day. Many of you don't even have anybody to borrow from. I just saw something on television. I saw Oakland, California. My last remembrance in Oakland, California was in 79 or 80. It wasn't that bad at that time. And what I saw on TV now is actually pathetic. It puts me in the mind of some of these other cities that have gone through changes. You know, like what? Detroit, uh, certain places in Chicago, New York, D.C. Mississippi. All over the place, there are some people that's living okay, and there are some people that's going through pure hell. And these cities are going through pure hell. I dream of a United States of America where every city looked fantastic. Every city looked beautiful. I went through a little town in Mississippi one time called Madison. And that Madison looked like a gated community. It was so fine. Now I have ideas about the whole dead blasted nation, every city, every town looking something like that. But we don't have that. We got an expression of hypocrisy and bigotry and bullshit. And it just tears me up. And nothing is being done about it, ladies and gentlemen. When you look at the politics of today, it's so split up. In politics, nobody cares about everybody. All this got that special little group, politics. What else you got out there? You got those other little organizations within the communities. It's the same dead blasted thing. You know, as a person, let me show you something. Can you see this guy? This is an old man. His name is Benjamin Frank Marcus. You see him, old, right? That's the man that raised me. Now, as old as he is right now, I'm almost that age myself. And when he got me, I was 2 years old, 1 year old? And they lived better than some of the people that live today. But he taught me one thing, that God is a real God. And God is not a God for those who got. You know, everybody who got a little stuff. I heard a preacher last night somewhere on cable talking about God made money for his people. Now, who is his people? Are they Christians? Are they something else or something else? But God made money for his people. Ladies and gentlemen, tell you something. I'm going to tell you, look, I be one of you guys that listen to me. I remember the first 10 years I was speaking, nobody listened to me, but I kept on submitting and talking. It took me 10 years to get 10 to get 10 subscribers, 100 subscribers, 10 years, 10 subscribers a year. Past month I got 100, another month I got 100. I doubled up each in those months, and you can tell when people pissed off what you say because they want to disassociate. But I want to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I just really want to tell you just like it is. Human beings should be. I'm ashamed of you. I'm just going to tell it like it is. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care how much you call yourself being successful. You are, as far as I'm concerned, pathetic in your relationship to one another. When you look at down Oakland, California, when you look at certain places, Mississippi, Minnesota, when you look at people, Texas, Alabama, Georgia, and you see all this pain and suffering, and you sit your butt down talking about God. Get you a job and sit back and relax. You ain't got nothing to worry about. God dog it, who in the world you been listening to? Who in the world you been listening to? And you're talking about how you gonna hear? Says you hear from a preacher. I wouldn't listen to a preacher for nothing. Why? Why would I listen to a preacher? Because God speaks to people. Who says that how you gonna hear except you hear from a preacher? Where did that come from? I'll tell you exactly where that come from. That came from the Catholic Church. Those are people who are trying to control you. Want to know exactly what you know. Because they're telling you what you know. Telling you what to think. And you doing it. I mean, I have never seen anything as silly as this. People are hurting and people are dying, people being killed with guns, and you sitting back don't give a damn about nothing. Your lie. Your lie. It makes me sick, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you why it makes me sick. Because you walk around thinking you got it going on. You think you all of that. Oh, you just so satisfied. Especially those of you who got a job. You're supposed to be satisfied. Hey, that helps you along the way. You don't think about the moment that you might not have a job, or should I say, maybe you went so long without a job, you're so glad now you don't have time. But I'm going to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, when you see riot going around, when you see neighborhoods falling, and you don't do anything about it, how long you think it's going to take before it catch up with you? And people who are ripping off, living their lives for money, don't give a stink about nothing but money. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to me. Listen to me. I don't care what you say. You think people care about God? I'm going to tell you like this. This is what I'm going to tell you just like this. Hell no. What do they care about? Money. Why? Because with money, they say they don't need God. With God, you got to work things out with people. You have to work it out with God. But with money, you ain't got to work nothing out. You do what you want to do and step on anybody you want to step on because you don't need them. You don't need them. Why? You got money. And the cities fall down. It'll be absolutely, what they say, the white folks moved out. And you say, well, the Negroes weren't able to do nothing. What did you leave with the Negroes? You robbing thief, you liar, you hypocrite, you hater, you racist, you bigot. Why am I saying this? Because it's true, and the evidence is all around us. And somebody needs to stand up and tell you, even if you don't subscribe to what they're saying, you stink in the way you live. And now the first thing you say, well, go get a job. Can everybody go get a job? Can they? And if they get a job, can they make enough money to sustain themselves? Can they? And if they can't, then what the hell is going on? And you're talking about God. I don't want to hear God come out of your mouth unless you're standing up trying to lift up those that's being trampled on. If you ain't doing that, if you all are looking out for yourself, trying to make sure that you got it going on, close your mouth when you come talking to me. Now, why am I fussing? I'm fussing because I'm here to fuss. I was supposed to have been gone 60, 70 years ago, but I'm still here. Struggling. Ain't got nothing. It's a choice I made. I made a choice. Because I know as long as I ain't got nothing, I can identify with the rest of you who ain't got nothing. And as I identify with you who ain't got nothing, I see that don't nobody give a damn about you. That's why you ain't got nothing. And don't nobody give a damn about me. That's why we don't have nothing. There ain't no God nowhere going to raise them up and make them care about us. No, God don't make you care. You have to do it on your own. Because if you don't, you're going to pay. When I look at those buildings in Oakland, I can think about that happening all over this country. You think anybody care? You think about Donald Trump? You think he cares? You think about those people who put those guns on and put that stuff on running around the country trying to see who they can kill and intimidate? This nation is full of this hell. Demonic hell. Nobody know what love is like. When I say nobody, I don't mean nobody. I mean it's just so sparingly. It's hard to find. It's hard to see it. Now, I sound like I'm fussing. You dead blasted right I'm fussing. Why am I fussing? I'm fussing at you because you call yourself a human being and you act like a wild animal. You act like a snake. You act like a anaconda or anything other than a human being. You would think a human being got some compassion. You think human being got some sense and care about one another. You don't care about nobody. You don't even care about yourself. But the thing I'm fussing about because you call it talking about God. You got a God over here that don't want to do nothing with the God over there. You got a God over here with Trump, who all those folks are that lying. Now all the information is coming out. Lies, 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 hips and all this kind of stuff. And you got the church over there with all the white churches over there trying to talk about, come on down, angels, and keep this demon Trump in office. Come on down. Lord, have mercy. And you talking about telling somebody about God. You think somebody will come to church and hear that crap? And if you're not talking that crap, what you're doing, you're struggling trying to keep your head above water. You won't stand up for nothing. And a nigga like me got to stand up by my goddamn self. I walk these streets, I stand up, but ain't nobody walking around here with me. I talk about your ass. People hurting. People can be living beautiful. You around here bragging about the richest man in America can take you up in space and float around in there. You need your ass whooped. Look, I got the strangest feeling you're not hearing me tonight. So I'm just going to close this out. And I'll talk another time when maybe I'm calmed down. I want to thank those of you who stood by. Until next time, goodbye.